Welcome to Live from Lockdown Library, presented by Bookworm Goa, with your hosts Nayan and Anandita. This is a series of conversations with book and library people where they share their responses to the ongoing global crisis. We're talking social distancing from a community perspective, we're talking access to books and storytelling, but in quarantine. The hope here is to find ways together to reimagine the library, to think of it as a vital, evolving, transcendent space that can both hold and give voice to this moment of intense uncertainty. Presenting live from Lockdown Library.
Hi, I'm Anandita, a library educator with Bookworm, and today I'm speaking with Dr. Vibha Krishnamurthy. Vibha is a developmental pediatrician and the founder and executive director of the Umeed Child Development Center in Mumbai. Dr. Vibha believes that all children with developmental disabilities can be included in society and reach their maximum potential if given the chance. Good evening, Dr. Vibha, and thank you so much for joining us on Live from Lockdown Library.
Good evening, Anandita, and it's a pleasure to be with you.
Vibha, during this time of COVID-19 and this sudden lockdown which has hit everyone everywhere, we have been seeing a lot of story content in the form of readings, read-alouds, storytellings, blogs, and a lot of such similar content being posted online. What are your thoughts about the sudden surge of online content in the field of library work?
I think it makes me happy at one level, Anandita, because it's accessing a new group of people who otherwise may not have had access to wonderful readings. For example, I saw the wonderful post by Michelle and Barack Obama of them reading a lovely book, and it was to publicize the Chicago Public Libraries. And what a great way to introduce people to libraries and the importance of words and reading. And what an important message that, and two important people or powerful people, influential people could do that and speak about books and libraries in that way. And I feel like it's already got millions of views, and I feel suddenly there's access to a whole lot of people. I don't think it can ever substitute, though, the feel and the heft of a real book and the joy of sitting on an adult's lap for a child and being encircled in loving arms and turning pages together. I don't think it can replace that, but I think it can supplement that or add value to that in different ways.
There also have been a lot of groups and organizations who have been engaging with a lot of relief work during this situation as a way of addressing needs that they feel are relevant and urgent, especially at this point of time. What do you think about this in light of a vision for libraries?
Anandita, it's so interesting because we've dealt with this dilemma ourselves, right? We work with low-income groups in slums in Mumbai, in rural areas in Gujarat, and our community health workers whose normal work involves promoting early childhood development, and that includes reading and books and in fact, some of them have been so enthusiastic, they've set up libraries in their neighborhoods, hesitate to talk about, language, reading, books, in a context where people are struggling for food and medicines, right? Basic things. So they've been, how do we even bring this up when what we are doing is actually going into homes and giving people packages of food and medicine? We don't feel like bringing this up. It seems almost, disrespectful to bring that up. We told them, why don't you go and observe what's going on? Why don't you see what's happening with families of young children? And what they said to us when they came back a few days later, having asked these questions, is firstly, that it's interesting that caregivers actually have more time with children right now. So people actually have more time. It's not like they don't have time. And the number of caregivers has increased. So you are actually seeing a lot more fathers around, grandfathers around, and they're at home, they're with the kids. But the trouble is that the quality of the time is affected and the quality of interactions is affected because of parental stress. Given those two, people would actually like to do something that engages their children in the time that they have with them, that is meaningful, that they feel contributes to their child's development. So I feel it's not a bad thing and it's not a disrespectful thing to talk to families about, well, what are you doing with your child during these times? How do you manage to engage your child? What are some of the times that you spend together that are pleasurable? And invariably, if we introduce the context of books, books provide, reading together provides a structured activity that a child can do with a parent and a parent can do with a child. It actually contributes to parental well-being. People feel good when they read books with their child. There's a sense of agency. There's a sense that I can make a difference in my child's development, even during lockdown. Because even though there is lockdown, my child's brain has not stopped growing or developing. So I can do something with my child that is meaningful, that will contribute to my child's development. And what a fascinating thing it is that we can escape to safe spaces in our mind. You know, I saw this poster which said, places that are still open is Hogwarts and Narnia. Your imagination is still available to you. So, for example, the WHO's recommended book that WHO has created themselves for reading to children to talk to them about the COVID crisis includes as one of the strategies for children the ability to go away to safe and fantastic imaginary places. And what better portal for that than a book? So I'm trying to make a case for the fact that books and reading do have a very powerful and important place even in the current crisis.
Thank you so much for sharing, Vibha. As you say, this pandemic and the situation has created a space where there is so much more need for engagement through books and through stories. And in this situation, which is a difficult time for so many people, it's also asking us to examine our own vision and questions such as whom we want to work with, why, how, and other such questions. How do you feel this applies to the work that you have been doing? And also, how do you feel this applies to educators in the library space?
I think the current situation has really highlighted for me that any crisis affects the most vulnerable in ways that we cannot even imagine. So I see the families that I work with, families of children with disability, as certainly the most vulnerable. And for example, the parents of kids with autism have reached out to me, to all the professionals at Umeed, because their kids are struggling to make sense of a world that has completely turned upside down. They can't go out. They don't know why. They're feeling anxious. They don't know how to express it. They're not seeing familiar people like teachers and therapists whom they love, and their friends. And there doesn't seem to be any finite end in sight. The uncertainty is making us all edgy, but at least we can talk to each other and talk about it. For many of these kids, that option doesn't exist. And for many of these families, the option doesn't exist of, just letting the kids do their own thing. They really have to juggle doing everything else along with managing some of the challenges that this situation has brought up for their kids. So I think what it's really brought out for me is we need to pay special attention to children with disabilities in any crisis, because if we don't speak for these children and families, nobody will. They'll get left out. Their needs won't be met. In terms of who we want to work with, I think it's so important at this point of time that you find your tribe of people who really believe in the things that you do. Because I work with children, I know that the power of having one individual in your life who believes in you, who inquires about you, who you trust, that is for a child. And I believe that library educators play that role, that one person who can get you excited about going through a door and walking into a world of books. I think that's just so important. I mean, I have my own memory of one teacher who would be my go-to person for book recommendations. And I know that she was as excited as I was about my discovery of new books. And if each of the library educators can be that for one child, I think it's your job mission fulfilled.
Yes. You mentioned some things to keep in mind which are so important, especially during this situation. During this lockdown and with all the accompanying feelings of isolation and uncertainty and confusion, what has given you strength and purpose?
Two things, of course, and I think it's going to be similar for a lot of people. One is looking at all the things that have become possible because of this forced lockdown period. And so I've been, quoting Charles Dickens' Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, because it is both for us right now. We are discovering the joys of nature in a city like Bombay. We're discovering the joys of reconnecting with family and extended family. We're discovering the joy of 8 hours of sleep at night and eating healthy home cooked meals, all of those. And I think the other thing that is really keeping me going is the meaningful work that I do with my team. I think being in touch with families of children with disabilities, working with my team, that brings home to me what exciting and rewarding work it is that we do. I feel truly lucky to have that. So both those things, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Have you come across any library activity or any other activity that you feel is particularly relevant and mention worthy during this time?
I'm so delighted you asked me that question, because one of the things that is keeping all of us at work excited and happy is one of my colleagues, Raviraj Shetty, who actually has done the course, the library educators course at Bookworm, took it upon himself every day to send us one children's book. And it has been such a wonderful bonding exercise for all of us. It has been so exciting to discuss the books amongst each other. I've heard stories. In fact, yesterday, one of my colleagues shared a story of how she and her grandmother look forward to that book every day, and she reads it aloud to her grandmother every day. And we have been rediscovering old books and discovering new children's books. And it's been such a splendid thing to do, because each day brings a new book and a new hope for the fact that children are still reading and still discovering imaginary worlds. And we have the opportunity to rediscover with them as adults. So that's my favorite book and library activity that's happening right now.
Yes, sounds really lovely. Lastly, Vibha, could you share with us and with our listeners one thought or message that has been illuminating for you?
I think the one thing that has been most helpful to me, or a thought that has something that I have really lived the last few weeks, is the importance of being completely in the moment. Like this, at this point of time, I don't want to be thinking about anything other than talking to you and to reaching out to other people by talking to you, and not worrying about what I have to cook for dinner, or the work that I have to finish, or the proposal that I have to write, but only think about talking to you. And because reading gives us that opportunity to be fully in the moment and be completely absorbed, it's my favorite mode of relaxation. So my single message is be aware of the moment and be fully present in it. And that has been my biggest learning from this time, because there's nothing I can predict about what's going to happen tomorrow, and nothing I can do or say that will change the uncertainty of the times.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that very pertinent and inspiring message with us. And thank you for joining us on Live from Lockdown Library and sharing your thoughts and your perspectives on the library space.
Thank you for having me, Anandita. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
This has been an episode of Live from Lockdown Library. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.